Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to the Friendship Drive Beginner's Guide to some of the careers and activities you can get up to in Elite Dangerous. This is not a comprehensive guide, but will give you a high-level overview of lots of different things you can do, whether your priority is credits per hour or the all-important fun per hour. This video should be seen as a guide to the basics for each different activity you can get up to. We'll have more in-depth guides for each one in the future. My biggest tip for players who are just getting started is to think about why you wanted to play Elite in the first place. Pick one activity that you're most interested in, and you can come back and try everything else later. This will help you choose which ships to work towards when you're just starting out, and will help guide your progression. So let's get started. The 5 most basic activities or careers are combat, mining, transportation of things or people, exploration, and mission running. However, not only is there a lot more to those 5 activities or jobs than meets the eye, but there's also a ton of other things to do in Elite Dangerous that don't neatly fit into those categories. We'll start with a brief overview of combat. There are a few jobs or activities that fall under combat. As I am not a PvP pilot, I will only be covering PvE or player versus environment combat here. If you're interested in player versus player combat, I have linked some resources in the video description. PvE combat in Elite centers around a few different areas. Firstly, there's bounty hunting, where you can seek out wanted pilots and shoot them to retrieve the bounty later at a station. This is often done either at a nav beacon, which you'll find near stars and inhabited systems, or in a resource extraction site at a planetary ring, but can really be done anywhere. You can even pull other pilots out of supercrews to fight with them using a frameshift interdictor. Next, you can take part in system-wide conflicts. These center around NPC factions or even player-run factions fighting for control over systems and resources. To get involved in this, seek out systems that are in the war or civil war state and search around for conflict zones to drop into. Select your side and fight with NPCs or other players depending on the game mode you're playing in. Each battle won will add to the overall score of your chosen faction and can have an impact on the state of the system you're fighting in. Alternatively, you can become an assassin for hire, taking on missions from various systems and seeking out your target by following the directions. There are other types of combat-related missions as well, such as massacre missions sending you after pilots of a particular faction, or type like pirates. Another more advanced form of combat would be anti-Xeno combat. Anyone who watches my stream knows that I am not the right person to ask about this, as I've been pretty pro-Thargoid, an alien race in the Elite universe, but it is an option that exists. For this, you will need very specific anti-Xeno weaponry and modules though. As of 2020, mining is the easiest way to earn credits in Elite. This may change in the future, so if you're watching this video later on, it's possible that the credit earning methods have shifted. However, as of the time of making this video, mining is still the most lucrative activity. There are 2 major types of mining. One is the original mining system using mining lasers, referred to as surface mining. The second uses more advanced tools that were introduced in the Beyond series of updates. These tools allow you to blast deposits off the surface of asteroids, drill into asteroids and dislodge subsurface deposits, or even blow up entire asteroids to crack the core. The last one is referred to as deep core mining. You can do either or both at the same time, depending on which tools you can fit on your ship. Laser mining is quite relaxing, though some pilots may find it tedious after some time. Deep core mining is certainly the most exciting, with a really satisfying boom every time you blow up a rock. It is worth noting here that only certain asteroids can be cracked open, and many miners will choose to bring along lasers to mine rocks in between while searching for their big payload. Mining involves seeking out specific minerals and selling them for profit at stations. With the changing economy, you may find yourself selling at different stations each day, even though you're mining the same mineral. Different minerals have been more profitable in the past, but it really does shift quite regularly, so it's worth checking external player-created tools for advice on what to mine and where to sell on any given day. I've linked a tool in the description called Miner's Tool, which allows you to input a system name and select a mineral you'd like to mine and sell. One of the other core activities of Elite Dangerous is trade. If transportation is your thing, there are a few different ways you can do this. A good early way of making money is rare trading, where you set up a route buying rare goods at the stations that sell them, for example Lavian Brandy from Lave, and then sell those goods a certain distance away from their origin to make a large profit. This becomes less lucrative later on, when you could make just as much if not more money by simply buying low and selling high on regular goods, but it's a great way to get started when you have limited cargo space. If you'd like to become a real space trucker, you will realistically need a bigger ship than you can afford at the beginning. Once you have one of those, you can start browsing the markets and pick commodities you'd like to buy and sell. Transportation of people is also a possibility, and you can check passenger lounges on stations to find any number of NPCs who want to ride somewhere. Some of these will be people looking to be transported from point A to point B, others will be tourists looking for an adventure or a sightseeing tour. You can get started with a relatively small ship, and these missions can often take you to see some of the galaxy's most beautiful sights. Just make sure to look at the distance you'll be travelling before you commit. Some of them go to the far reaches of the galaxy. That brings me quite neatly to one of my own personal favourite activities, exploration. If you want to see the beautiful sights of our very own galaxy, exploration might just be for you. I've always loved space, and the main reason I was so excited for Elite Dangerous is that it's the perfect way for me to see real things that exist in the Milky Way, represented with as much care and accuracy as any game has ever done. You can get started with exploration right away, though if you're planning on travelling far, it'll be worth picking up a ship with a decent jump range and upgrading it a bit. An excellent starting point, however, is doing the Road to Riches challenge. This is a great taster for what you can expect from exploration and takes you to all the valuable systems of the bubble or inhabited space. You scan the system, probe the specific planets, usually Earth-like worlds, water worlds, and ammonia worlds, and then sell the data for a profit. Not only does this give you a great introduction to exploration, but it also gives you a nice little boost of credits to pursue whatever activity you want. Once you decide to start exploring, there are a few options open to you. You can seek out specific beautiful sites as recommended by tools such as the Elite Dangerous star map linked below, or select a location yourself by looking around the galaxy map. You can also just pick a random direction and start plodding towards it. Some of my personal favourite sites are Thor's Eye, the Spirograph Nebula, and Mitterrand Hollow. Whilst exploring, you won't just be seeing beautiful sights, you'll also be using your Discovery Scanner, which comes built into all ships, and the Full Spectrum Analysis to scan the systems you enter, and a detailed surface scanner, which you will have to install yourself, to launch probes at planetary surfaces to map them. You can then return to inhabited space and sell your exploration data for profit, but perhaps more importantly, to get your name stamped on any undiscovered planets you find. Any other player who visits that system will see your name next to the planet on the system map, which I think is pretty cool. Finally, there are lots of different weird and wonderful things to see in the galaxy, such as Lagrange clouds and other stellar phenomena, crash sites, alien ruins, and more. The last major activity I'll talk about is mission running. The mission board has been a core feature of the Elite games since 1984, and was something that stands out in my memory, particularly from when I played Frontier First Encounters, the third game. In Elite Dangerous, there are many different mission types outside of the ones we've already discussed. Data courier missions are a great way for new pilots to get a little bit of cash whilst they find their feet, and there are other missions including salvage, combat, and more. Check your local mission board to see if anything stands out. There are even wing missions where you can team up with a group of friends to complete the tasks together and share the rewards. These are just some of the most basic Elite Dangerous careers and activities you can expect to get up to. There is a whole host of other activities as well, and one of my favourite resources by Commander Cohen Lath is the Elite Dangerous career chart. I've linked it in the description in case you'd like to see some of the other careers and activities you might like to get up to, both in and out of the game. The next few guides will feature a module and ship overview, some basic flight tips, and eventually we'll also go in depth with each of the careers for anyone who needs advice on the specifics. For now, fly safe and keep that friendship drive charging.